what's an example of one of those things that maybe the artist wanted, or maybe that you felt like was a good thing for the artist to ask for, that seemed really unlikely that you guys ended up getting?
Every time publishing, every label that I've ever negotiated with has come out the gate saying they want to own 50% of the artist's publishing. And in every deal I've done, I have never, ever, ever had to give up publishing to a major label for the artist. If the artist chooses to go on later and sell a portion of their publishing, as much as I'm against that, I can't stop them. But we're not going to give up half of the publishing or any percentage of publishing just to get a record deal. That's insane.
Right. Now, for those who may be new or not familiar with those terms, so there's a difference between master royalties and then publishing royalties.
Yes, they're two
Could you
completely
explain
different
that
things.
for them really quickly?
Absolutely. Master rights are the actual ownership of what the recording is on. So if you're pressing up CDs, and I'm going to go old school for a minute, only because this will make it really clear. If I'm pressing up CDs, the master rights are the rights to take my music and put it onto that CD.
Right.
The publishing is the ownership of the words and the music. So the master usage is the thing that allows you to reproduce the music. The publishing is the actual words and music.
Right. So traditionally, a record label's job is to press up the music and distribute it and get it out there.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
That activity should not warrant them getting that publishing.
No, but in their minds, they feel like they're entitled to it because they're putting up the money.
Right.
And somewhere in life, money became more important than art. I'm not sure where and when that happened, because for me, the art is more important. And I can illustrate that best by saying, if I have a ton of money, let's say I have $2 million and I'm sitting at home, I can't make music. I can't rap. So all I have is money. I can market and promote myself, but I suck. Now, on the flip side, let's say I have no money, but I'm super talented. I can sit at home and I can put my music up onto a platform and people will listen to it. It probably won't go very far because I don't have money. But if I can get my music out there and start building a fan base, that tells me that the art has more value than the music.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, people want things that they can't have or do themselves.
Right.
Right. And that's what I tell, the artists I consult with all the time. Like, I don't care how small your fan base is. When you go outside and you play your guitar, you're doing something that most people that are walking by can't do.
Can't do. Right.
And, that's attractive to someone.
I agree.
That's why we talk about so much about content marketing and putting yourself up on YouTube. It's like, no, you may not have 1 million subscribers, but there are people that are paying attention to you just because they don't get to see that every day.
Exactly.
Kanye's not putting up beat making videos. If he did, I'm sure they'd get millions of views, but he's not. So you have that opportunity,
And I think that's what attracts the major label. That's what attracts any record label. But in this context with the major labels, I kind of prefer them because there's no middleman. So if you're going right to Sony or right to Republic or right to Def Jam or right to Interscope, you're going right to the source, right? And what I like about that is if they're coming to you and they want to sign you, that shows you that your talent has value and you don't have to give up everything in order to sign a record deal, especially if you're already building a fan base on your own. If you're making money on your own, you have so much more leverage when a label comes, and they will. You have so much more leverage because you don't necessarily need them. You might want them, but you don't really need them. And they know that. So they have to be a little bit more aggressive in what they're willing to give you in terms of money, in terms of ownership. And I just feel like everybody should retain ownership of their publishing. You should not give a piece of what you've made to somebody else just to get on. It doesn't make sense.
Right. And I mean, a lot of times people end up regretting it,
I'll bet almost every time. Because you're giving up something and you don't know what it means, but the labels have been doing this for decades and decades and decades, so they know what it means financially. They've been through this. When you're a new artist, you don't realize that you could make $1 million with your publishing in your first year if you're, even just somewhat successful. You don't even have to be like, have a hit record, and you can make a lot of money.
Gotcha.